guys, and welcome back to the Emily Knits channel. My name is Emily. I am a knitter and crocheter in my mid-30s based in the north of Nottinghamshire in the UK, where I live with my husband and our 2 dogs close to Sherwood Forest. I am a little bit late getting this up for you, sorry. I usually try and put a video up over the weekend. I'm filming this on Monday the 8th of December. I'm hoping it'll go up on the same day. This weekend's just been really busy. I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit because there's some knitting related stuff. But I'm here. Better late than never, I hope. And yeah, we've got a traditional format podcast to go through today. So I'm going to get into it quite quickly because I've got a fair bit to talk to you about, and I'm actually just on a break from work. So yeah, I'm actually just on a break from work. So let's get into it before I start waffling too much. What am I wearing? Before I forget, I'm wearing my Ekin sweater by Sophie of the Knit Pearl Girl. You've heard me mention this loads this year. I finished this back in like February, and I've worn it absolutely loads. It is now way too big on me. It is massively oversized, but I absolutely love this thing. And on days like today when it's cold, but it's not super cold, and it is just, I'll be completely honest, it's a very Monday today. I'm on my second cup of coffee up there. The candles are lit because I need a little bit of coziness and I'm quite glad to have a break from work to come and talk to you guys because that feels a bit more positive than work on a Monday morning. So yeah, I'll put the details below and everything, but yeah, really highly recommend this pattern. Just make one that actually fits you and doesn't give you like, I mean, that's me. That's the sweater. It's a bit big. I might remake this next year because I really do love it. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. First thing to talk about is a whip before we talk about any finished objects and stuff. I've got one finished object to talk to you about that's a bit of a fail. A couple of half finished objects and some whips, most of which you've seen, some of which you haven't because they're Advent projects. So exciting Christmassy things to talk about. First thing to talk about is a whip of a different sort, and I'm going to mention it up front because otherwise I will forget. So you may be aware, sorry. If you've been here for a bit, you may have seen that earlier in the year, Babylon Leather sent me, I'm going to get it actually, let me get it and show you it because I love it. Okay, framing may have changed because I managed to knock the tripod. Well done. Yeah, Babylon Leather reached out to me earlier in the year and sent me the kit for this bag, which I don't know if you can hear. This is probably going to be annoying to some of you, but this is, it's legitimately my handbag. It's full of crap. Can I show you it without it tipping out? It's full of crap. This is my only handbag. I use this all the time. So if you were ever wondering if people actually use the things they make on these videos, this gets used all the time. This has been to Paris with me. This has been to London with me for work. This has been to, it didn't come to Punta Cana with me actually, to the Dominican, because I decided it was just a bit too big. But it's been all over the place. And if I go somewhere and I want a handbag, this is what I take. I love this. So they reached out again and said, would I want to try another of their kits? And I said, yes, please. But this time, because I had my handbag, I decided I wanted to try something a bit different. So I got a different kit. I mean, obviously I got a different kit. Why would I get 2 of the same? But I chose one intentionally with the aim of it being a project bag. And this is where we are at with it. It looks really weird at the moment, but I am sewing up the sides. I will pop a picture on screen of what this is supposed to look like because I don't think I've actually got one here, have I? But I'll pop one on screen. I intentionally chose something that would work as a project bag. So this is about how big it's going to be. It's going to be quite wide. It's got a pocket on the inside. You can see there I've attached one side of the pocket. And then it has this big old canvas strap, which I'm going to shorten quite a lot because I don't need a project bag that's that long. But yeah, I am making this currently, and this is going to be my next, well, it's going to be a bit of a treat to myself. It's a project bag basically. It's a really nice quality leather project bag, which I've never had a leather project bag. I haven't had a mood or anything like that. And it smells, I love the smell of leather. I know it's probably not, it's basically animal hide, isn't it? So it's not great, but I love it. Yeah, and this time I am timing myself. I meant to time myself on the first one because they say that they're all completable in sort of 5 to 7 hours. So I'm timing myself and I'm less than 2 hours in and I've done an entire half of the bag basically. All I've got to do is add the second side and then do some top stitching around the top, add the hardware and stuff for where the handles are going to go, and that's it. So it's not going to take me long at all. So this will be finished next time you see it, probably with a project in it, because say that's the aim. It will be perfect for smaller projects. It's not going to be a sweater. In fact, because of the depth, it might be a sweater quantity. We'll see when we get there. So the reason I wanted to mention it is because I think these might be absolutely fantastic as gifts and things like that. So Babylon Leather create kits for bags, basically for leather bags. You get this pre-punched leather. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can. You can see the leather comes pre-cut and pre-punched. There are loads of different choices of colours, sizes, styles. There are plenty that are dupes for like designer bags as well. I am just not particularly a designer girly. If you've been here before, you'll know that. It's just not my aesthetic. I can appreciate them, but I'm not massively drawn to them. And they do plenty that aren't, that like this and like this, that are just really good quality bags, and aren't particularly trying to be a knockoff of something else or trying to be a dupe of something else. But they come with everything that you need. So they come with really good video tutorials. If I can do them, having never done anything like this before, anybody else can do them. You can have them either with contrast stitching, which is what this one has. You can see the stitching is white, so you get white cord, or with body coloured stitching, which is what I've gone for on this. So this one has a lovely grey stitching. They come with needles, they come with snips, they come with everything you need, except for the only thing you need that you don't get is you use a lighter to tidy up your ends inside, basically. So a lighter or a match is all you need, basically. Everything else will come with them, along with fantastic step-by-step instructions. They ship worldwide. This arrived really quick, the other one arrived really quick, and they would make really good presents, I think. Either if you were to buy somebody, if you've got somebody in your life who is quite crafty, you could buy them a kit and they would, you know, probably really enjoy it. I've really enjoyed making both of these. Or what I did think while I was making this one yesterday, they'd make really good presents. My mother-in-law was really taken with the handbag that I've got and the fact that I'd made it myself particularly. And I think she would have really appreciated, had I thought about this in a bit more time, I maybe would have done it. If I bought one of these kits, made it for her, and then gifted her a handmade handbag that I'd made for her, I think she would have loved it. So yeah, I think they make great gifts in a couple of different ways. This one is much softer leather than the other one because that's supposed to be quite a structured bag. This is much softer and much more pliable. It's beautiful. And it's this absolutely gorgeous grey colour. So yeah, huge range. Had so much fun doing them and cannot highly enough recommend them. If you want to try them for yourself, there is a link in the description box down below and a code which I will put on screen and put down in the description box because I can't remember it. I think it's EmilyKnitsDesigns, but I'm not sure. And if you use that link and that code, it will give you, I'm pretty certain it's 10% off everything on the website. It does stack on top of website-wide discounts as well. So if you want to wait until they've got a sale running, if you want to save yourself a bit of money, feel free to use the code and everything to get yourself a bit of money off. But I can very highly recommend these. It is an affiliate link, so if you click through that, then I get a little bit of money back from the business to say thank you for that. But you don't pay any extra for it being an affiliate link. And if you don't want to use the affiliate link, I honestly would still recommend them. So yeah, wanted to show that before I forget. I'm going to rustle and put it away. And then we'll go into talking about knitting and crochet. First, I'm going to have a drink of coffee because, like I said, very Monday. Lovely. Okay, so let's go into some knitting and let's talk first about... Oh, it's still a bit fresh. It's still a bit fresh. I've had a finished object fail and I'm still getting that sucker punch feeling. So if you watched my winter knitting plans last week, you will know that I am already well into gift knitting this year. I'm making quite a lot of gifts. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk to you about are gifts today. And I'm really enjoying it. And one of the things that I've been talking about for a while was making an Oslo hat for my dad. So I made myself an Oslo hat this year. I think I have it here actually. Yeah, I do. Why is it there? I don't know why it's here, but it's here. So I made myself one earlier in the year. Adult medium. I made it in a skein of woolen twine yarn that I had in the shade Fennel Seed. And I adore this thing. I wear it loads. So it's just a really nice... That doesn't look good when I've not sorted my hair out, does it? That's better. It's just a really nice, simple, wearable beanie that looks very store-bought, actually, and it's a really nice fit. And I love this thing. I wear this all the time. It's the only hat that I've got made or store-bought, and I love it. So I made my dad last year for Christmas or for his birthday a Musselburgh, and he really loves it. And I thought this would be a really good thing. I've never woven my ends in, so please ignore that. It's for me, it doesn't really matter, does it? I thought this would be a really good hat for him to have. That end's probably putting me off. similar to the Musselburgh in that it's very classic, very wearable, very simple, but it's different. So it's DK weight, whereas the Musselburgh I made in was fingering weight. It's not double thickness like the Musselburgh is. So I thought, great, another present to make him, and I'll make it in different colours than I made the Musselburgh for him. I even, when I went to Yarndale earlier in the year with my mum, I specifically went with the aim of picking out yarn for a hat for my dad, and I did. I bought this absolutely gorgeous skein of 100% merino superwash from Irish Artisan Yarns, and I cast on probably about a month ago, and I didn't do much on it. I did about an inch on the bottom of the brim, and then after I'd filmed my winter knitting plans video last week, I decided, right, this is perfect timing to really get going on this. So I've worked quite, not fully monogamously, but for me quite monogamously on it over the last sort of week or so, and I finished it in about 3 or 4 days, and I really enjoyed it. The yarn was gorgeous, the pattern is just really easy and satisfying to work, and it works up really nicely. So very much enjoyed it again, as I did the first time. It's a pattern by Petite Knit, I should have said that. I feel like everybody knows that by now. And I finished it on, I think, Thursday night, and I tried it on and it fit lovely. So I did exactly the same. I did 3.5mm needles, which I think is the size. I did whatever the needle size is in the pattern, and I did it exactly the same as this. Same needle size, same gauge, adult medium, all the same. The only thing I didn't do is on this one, I did a little bit of scrap yarn at the beginning. This is some superwash sock yarn, superwash DK weight sock yarn, because I was a bit worried about running out of yarn. For the one for my dad, I didn't do that because it's a gift, and I had quite a bit left of this when I was finished, so I thought, fine, won't do that. Finished it, really pleased with myself because I finished it. First gift I finished this year, tried it on, utterly perfect. Put it into block, like I did this. And I don't do anything special with blocking. I don't agitate things really heavily. I do a little bit more if it's something like woolly knit and it's got lots of spinning oil in it, but I don't agitate things very much, and particularly when it's superwash. I've used superwash a lot, so I expected it to grow a little bit, which is good because it was a little bit snug. It grew way more than I expected it to. As soon as I took it out of the water, I only left it in for 20 minutes or so, and as soon as I was getting it out of the water, I could feel in my hands that it had grown. And it's grown to the point where it's almost unwearable, I'll be honest, and I'm gutted. I'm really gutted. So let me just show you. I mean, first off, it's got all this slouch that it didn't have, and it looks all right as is, but it looks all right as is because I've got glasses on that are stopping it falling down. Let me take these off. This could be my thumbnail, couldn't it? I can't actually see what I look like, but I know the camera's there somewhere. Yeah, it grew so much, and it's also grown widthwise. I don't know if you can see that, as well as lengthwise. It grew widthwise, and I was gutted, absolutely gutted. I am not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this. I did debate trying to felt it. But I worry that I haven't got a tumble dryer, so I'd have to do it on a hot spin in the washer. I don't know if that would work. It's hard to control by how much you actually felt something, so it may not work the way that I want it to. It may go too much, it may go too little. What is going on with that bit? Where's that coming? Oh, it's my eyebrow. It may go more than I want it to. It may go less than I want it to. I mean, look, it shouldn't have that. I am glad I did it, because if I hadn't have blocked it, the moment he got it wet, it would have done that, and he would have thought he'd ruined it. So I am glad I did that. I could rip it back and re-knit it. I wanted to show you. I was so pleased with myself as well on Yarn Chicken. Let me show you. I was, when I was knitting this, I was playing a bit of Yarn Chicken, and I was so pleased with myself when I finished it because I was so close to running out of yarn, and it was perfect. And then, yeah, I blocked it and it wasn't perfect. I think what I'm leaning towards is either keeping it and re-knitting it at some point, but I'm not in the mood to do that now, or gifting it to him, not as a proper Christmas gift, but just sort of saying to him, look, I made you this, it didn't quite work out, and seeing if he wants it, because he does also wear glasses, so they will keep it up to an extent. And I don't know if he would massively mind a little bit of slouch on his hat, but yeah, it's not how it's supposed to look. You can sort of see at the top, it's because it's not supposed to be slouchy. It's getting a bit of a weird shape on it. So yeah, not ideal. So there is my finished object fail. I'm going to take it off and put it away. And I sent pictures to a couple of my friends, and they said, could you not roll the brim up further? Is it not? And the thing is, yes, I could. It does have more that it could roll up, but the thing is, there's so much drape on it that it doesn't stay up. It just falls down. And it's such a shame because it's beautiful yarn and it's really beautiful colours. And I don't think it's anything to do with Iris Artisan Yarns. I think it must be the base, and she's not in control of that because it's not a base that she creates herself. But yeah, finished object fail. I'm going to put this to one side because I'm annoyed at it. So, off the back of that, it knocked me a bit. I'll be completely honest, it knocked me a bit. It was the first gift knit I finished, and it was the one that I was probably the most excited and certainly the most confident about in many ways, because I'd made one, I loved it, and I loved making it, I loved wearing it. I was super confident about it. Those colours are very much my dad's colours. So it was probably the thing that I was most confident about. And it just didn't go at all to plan. When I blocked it, it just ruined it completely. And I found myself doubting myself a bit with other gifts and thinking, well, clearly I'm just going to ruin the rest of them. And I was also quite gutted that this was a present, like one of the main presents I was going to give to my dad was this hat. And all of a sudden, like, that's not going to work. So I had another present that I was working on for him, and I really then put some time into these. So these are a pair of vanilla socks that I'm making for him. And I finished the first one, which looks really, really good. This, thankfully, this went well. This went well. This didn't turn out weird. I think I was sort of here. I just finished the decreases. So I needed to do the foot and the toe of the first sock. So I haven't got the second one done. I have just followed my sort of in my head vanilla sock recipe, which actually originally comes from the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla socks on Magic Loop, because that's how I learned to do them. I've just done a 10 row 2x2 rib cuff, about a 60 row leg. These are 72 stitches on 2.25mm needles. It's the first time I've gone down to a 2.25, and I really like it actually. I think as I've knit socks over the years, my gauge has got a bit tighter, and this is a really nice dense sturdy sock fabric. I've done a heel flap and turn, just a slip stitch heel flap and just a rounded toe. I do a really basic sock when I do a vanilla sock. I don't particularly put anything interesting in it. And I really like to do a vanilla sock when I've got a self-striping yarn like this. So this is all Drops Fable. The grey is just, I think, the mid-grey. I just had a ball of it in my stash and it was perfect for heels, toes and cuffs. And the main is, I'm going to have to put the colour on screen because I got it in a D-stash from Vinted. It's chili something, maybe chili jam or something. And you can see it's got these quite, I guess, quite varied stripes. They're not really sort of uniform. That's the word I'm looking for. They're not really uniform stripes, but really nice colours. And I think my dad will really like these. I've made him some in their print before, so it's two different listings if you go and buy them from somewhere like Wool Warehouse. The Fable will just be the solids, and then they've got Drops Fable long print. And I've made him some in one of those before, and they wore really well. I really like Drops Fable as a really sturdy sock yarn. So it's a 75-25 blend, but it's just wool and nylon. It's not a superwash wool and nylon, although they can go in the washing machine. I'm pretty certain I've done that before. And it's more of a rustic yarn than a merino. It is superwash. Sorry, I'm talking rubbish. It is superwash, but it's not merino. It's just wool. So it is a bit more rustic. But yeah, I need to cast on the second one and get these knit. But that is the first half finished object, and I'm very pleased with how they've turned out. I think I'm going to move towards more 2.25mm needles for socks in future. And the second half finished object you hadn't even heard me mention when I podcasted last. So I had a really sweet message from my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law and I don't have direct contact particularly. There's not any reason why not. We just don't. We just don't. So usually I've met her in person loads, obviously, and the meetings will be organised by my husband generally, and I get on well with her. But we don't have particular contact outside of that, and that just is what it is. But she reached out to me about a week ago, a little bit more than a week ago, I think, and messaged and sent me a picture. So I made her some socks for her birthday. The Preto socks, I think, by Marie-Eve Wedge, which were these beautiful purpley coloured socks that were pure vanilla except for some lace around the cuff. And they were gorgeous. And I made her those, and she absolutely loves them. And she sent me a picture and said they were her favourite socks ever. They worn and washed really well, and they went really well with their shoes. So I thought straight away, first off, that's a hint for some more socks, isn't it? And second off, perfect opportunity coming up for Christmas to make her some. And I was trying to decide what I wanted to make. I couldn't settle on anything. I wanted something that wasn't pure vanilla because I was making those for my dad. And then I watched Becky of Back to Blighty. I love her podcast, by the way. If you don't watch her, I'm also watching her Vlogmas. I really, really love her content. She's also got rabbits. She's got a rabbit now, but Myrtle, her bunny, really reminds me of an old rabbit of mine. So it's really, really nice and warm and nostalgic for me to watch. But yeah, really, really highly recommend her channel if you don't watch it already. And she had finished the Wigit socks by Nancy Wheeler. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, I want that. And this was one of those occasions where I bought the pattern, I had the yarn in my stash, so I picked it out straight away. I cast them on and I finished this in about 2 days. And they're so good. So this is a really nice sock pattern. This is the first time I've ever knit a pattern by Nancy Wheeler. And it was really well written. I don't know if I think it was beginner friendly. No, there were a couple of bits where even I was like, okay, I know how to do this because I know how to make socks, but I wouldn't have been super sure about it otherwise. But I think there were video tutorials, which I didn't use. It's got this beautiful twisted rib cuff, and then you've got this textured panel on the back, which you can't see very well in the yarn that I'm using. And actually, I could take or leave this. It's nice, but it's not the main thing for me. The thing that really caught my eye is this gorgeous garter stitch stripe that you have down the side of the sock, both sides of the sock. And then you've got a little garter stitch stripe on the side of your heel flap as well to emulate that. This is gorgeous. I was really taken by, if I take this off the thing and show you the front, I was really taken by that sort of front solid panel that you get and the garter stitch on either side. I just think it looks really almost industrial in a really good way. It's really, really lovely. And I'm very, very much enjoying knitting these. So this, like I said, flew off the needles. I am using some yarn from Blue Fern Yarns, which came in her Autumn Equinox box, and I think it's called Fallen Leaves. I've got the ball here so I can show you it. It's almost like a very warm toned base, almost like a pinky beigey base with red and green flecks in, and it's lovely and it's working really well in this sock. And then I've used a mini from Copper Kettle Fibre and Floss, which was unnamed. No, it wasn't unnamed, but I don't know the name. It came in a Halloween set that I got this year. And it goes perfectly with it. It's again a very warm toned red with lots of sort of bits of purpley things in it, and it just works so well together. I adore that garter stitch detail. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Because you're knitting in the round, you do have to purl for that garter stitch bit, but it's a very easy to remember pattern and it works out really nicely. And this one I have started the second and not got massively far on it, but it's not going to take me long to get to do the rest. So I've done my cuff and you can see the texture there a little bit better on the back, and the front stockinette panel is developing as well. I have these absolutely gorgeous stitch markers on it, the eggs from Cozy Crab, who is going to come up again. Cozy Crab is a seller on Etsy who's based in Wales and has some absolutely gorgeous needle minders, stitch markers, things like that, little notions, and I think she does some project bags as well. Really, really gorgeous. So that's my other half finished object, the Wigit socks by Nancy Wheeler. I'm going to put that back in the bag with those before I lose it. Okay, and then let's talk about progress on other projects, most of which are, okay, we've got 2 gift knitting projects, 1 sample and 1 advent. So let's start with the sample first. So you'll have seen, if you've been here before, I've been mentioning for a few weeks, I've been working on this sample for Creative Anarchy Yarns, who is lovely Hannah. And it's a sample of her new design, the rainbow sweater, that's going to be coming out shortly, I think, using her alpaca haze or alpaca cloud haze yarns, and I am making some significant progress on this now. It looks so striking, doesn't it? Now, you can't tell on here, but I'm actually not far off finishing the body. So I've split for the sleeves. Had I split for the sleeves when I showed you last time? I don't think I had. I've split for the sleeves and I'm working down the body, and actually the body, she wants me to do the cropped version, which needs 8 inches on the body, and I'm already 6.5 inches in. So I've actually only got like 1.5 inches of body left to do before I'm onto the ribbon. and then the sleeves. So this I'm hoping will be done in the next sort of week and I can send it back. But how striking is that colour work? It's absolutely gorgeous. So effective. And the back's exactly the same, colour work all over the place, just with some short rows up at the top. So yeah, really enjoying working on this. And I said the Cozy Crab were going to come up again. I've got this absolutely gorgeous little Christmas chicken stitch markers. I don't know if you can, there you go, you can see a bit better there without the light on it. It's got Christmas lights all over it. I think they're so cute. I couldn't resist when she put these on her site. They're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so this is absolutely fine. So the two colours are, the main colour is Queen of the North, which is this lovely tonal, in fact I would say it's variegated, blue with lots of browns and greens and silvers in it. And then the contrast colour is a tonal, which is Witness Me, which is this beautiful silvery chromy light colour. And the yarn is gorgeous. It's a bit not arduous to knit colour work in, that's not the right thing, but because it's a blown yarn, so it's an alpaca blown yarn, it sticks to itself, which is good for colour work, but also hard for colour work. Sometimes I find myself really having to tug on the balls of yarn to loosen up yarn to do the work with. But it's a really intuitive colour work chart. There's not much catching of floats, and it just looks so striking and effective. I love the yarn. The yarn is really soft, and this is less than 200 grams, because these were 100 gram balls and I'm still going down the first balls. It's absolutely mad. There is still, probably about 20 grams of the main colour left, and probably 35 of the contrast. So yeah, it's very, very light, but you're still getting a nice warm, dense fabric. And I'm super excited to play with this again, this yarn, for my own colourwork sweater at some point. But yeah, really pleased with how this is turning out. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks to get this finished, get it sent back. So by the time you see it next time, it will probably just be a finished picture rather than the item actually here, because it'll be sent back. But the other thing I wanted to do, because I keep forgetting, is show you my floats, the obligatory. I'm quite pleased with them, they look really good. It's on a very short cable, so it's hard to show, but if I show you up at the top as well, you can see. I'm quite pleased with my floats on those. So yeah, this one progressing really nicely, hoping to get this done very shortly. And then gift knits. So there's two, along with the other two, the socks, there's two particular gift knits that I've been working on quite a lot. I showed this one last time, and it's had some very significant progress since I worked on you last. Since I showed you last time. So this is the Wanderer scarf, altered. So the Wanderer scarf is a pattern by Kristin SK, who goes by Gorgeous Knits on Ravelry and possibly Instagram. This is intended to be a DK weight scarf pattern. I've adjusted it for an Aran weight yarn, so I'm doing fewer stitches, but still this is the width that it should be. I'm just using fewer stitches to get to that. And I think when I showed you last time, I had maybe sort of yay much. I didn't have very much at all. Now we have lots. A very long scarf. You can see there, it is looking much more striking on camera than it is in real life. There is a change where I've changed yarn balls. But A, I don't think my husband's going to be bothered by that. It's him that it's for, and I don't think he's going to be bothered by that. And B, in person, it isn't as striking as it looks on camera. Yes, there is a bit of a difference, because this one is a bit more blue heavy and this one is a bit more brown heavy. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be noticeable. So it has this beautiful tapered edge, and it's going to be the same on the other side, but I think at the other end it's going to be the other way, so it's going to taper that way instead of that way. And then it's got this gorgeous detail up the centre where you have a slip stitch detail to give it almost like a seam basically, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is, I'm using oh my days, Arcane Fiberworks, that's it, Arcane Fiberworks Aran weight yarn, which is 100% merino. It's beautiful, in the shade Eyes of the Oracle. I've got a ball here I can show you. Which is the same colourway, different base, but the same colourway as I made a Musselburgh for my husband out of earlier in the year, and he loves it. He chose the colourway for his hat, and I thought it would be really nice to make him a matching scarf to go with it, and hopefully some gloves, but I don't know if I'm going to get to them before Christmas. This is what I've got left of my second ball, and then like I said, I've got a third ball. And I think realistically, I was messing about with this yesterday because I took this to an event with me yesterday and I did loads of knitting on it. That's where I was. And I was messing about with it and I don't think I'm that far off being ready to start the decreases. I want it to be nice and long for him. We've said before, my husband is a tall person. Yeah, so it needs a bit more length because I don't know if you can see there. No, you can't. This is sort of just coming to just my belly button, this. So it needs a bit more length. Because I want it to be nice and long. And if he can wrap it round twice, that's only going to be a good thing. But it's probably not super far off. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this ball, join in the next one, and probably not use the entirety of the ball, but probably a good at least half of the ball, and then start doing the decreases. But yeah, it's really satisfying to knit on. It's a really simple, easily memorizable pattern. It's garter stitch with some slip stitch details and some really nice tidy edging on it. So yeah, really recommend the pattern, and it's making a really beautiful scarf. So this shouldn't take me too much longer to finish. It's very easy to work on. I've had it, I went to an event last week in London for work and I took it with me and I got loads done on the train. I went to a stitch night last night, like a crafting meetup, took it with me. Like I said, got loads done there. It's so easy and almost soothing to work on. It's very soft yarn. It's beautiful yarn. On 4.5mm needles. Yeah, 4.5mm needles. That's not the size in the pattern. Like I say, it's intended for DK weight yarn. I've used 4.5mm needles with this yarn because it gives a really nice fabric, and then I've just adjusted my numbers. I'm not going to say numbers obviously because it's a paid for pattern, but I've adjusted my numbers to accommodate that, and it's working really nicely. So I'm hoping the next time we speak that will be done. Another one that's had a lot of work on, but I was hoping that would be done this time, but isn't yet, is another gift knit for my husband, which I'm really keen to get finished because he's starting to lament not having stuff that fits in very well. Normal clothes, not specifically knitwear, but to be able to give him a nice knitted jumper that he could wear and that fits him really well would be lovely. So when I showed this last time, this is the Step by Step sweater by Florence Miller. I am making this, I'm striping it myself using a combination of 4 different colours of Retrosaria Joao held with drops Lima in the shade Off-White. To create this sort of mild effect, not marbled. When I showed you it last time, I was just about finishing the body. I have now finished the body and done the ribbon and bound off, and I'm most of the way through one sleeve. So I've got this to finish off and then another one to do. And I can't remember if I'd said last time, but I have decided to match the stripes on the body to the sleeves to the body, sorry. So I've done all my decreases on the sleeve. I'm just working down it now, and I've not got massive amounts further to do, I don't think. I have decided, I haven't brought it down with me, but I have decided because of the amount of turquoise I've got left, I'm not going to do turquoise cuffs. Because I had 4 different colours in it. I've got this navy, green, and the orange and turquoise I've left upstairs, but you can see the orange and turquoise in it. I had 2 different balls of each of them. And I've got plenty left of the green. This is mostly full. Orange is very similar, although it's a bit less than this. The turquoise I am running low on, and I think it's because it's had folded collar in it, it's got the ribbon in it, and there's some quite big stripes in it as well. But I've got loads of navy left. So I'm still on my first ball. I haven't even cracked into this one yet. And then I've got this entire ball left. There's the sort of ball band for you. This is 100% Portuguese wool, and it's a sport weight sort of roving yarn. Not roving, singles. And yeah, I'm going to do navy cuffs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the bottom. I'm going to match with the orange. I'm going to do a little bit of turquoise, probably a couple of rows just to make it look similar. And then I'm going to do the cuff in navy. But it's probably not far off being ready for the cuff. So bearing in mind that it will grow with blocking, because I've done a mid-project block on the body. This is so long. Men's sweaters are so long. This is ridiculous. But I know it's going to fit him because of the measurements I've taken. So yeah, this will hopefully be done next time I see you and blocked and ready to gift. I'm really pleased with it. It's very heavy, it's very warm, it's very dense. That's what I wanted for it. And he picked the colours for this himself when we were in Portugal last year on our honeymoon. So yeah, getting towards the end of this. A couple of things I meant to mention that I keep forgetting to mention whenever I talk about it is that this yarn is lovely, but it's full of vegetation. Absolutely full. I am spending quite a lot of time having to pull out little bits of it as I'm knitting. So just bear that in mind if you use it. Part of the reason I decided not to do the turquoise as well was, I said last time, if I need more turquoise, it's really easy to get. There's a couple of places that stock it in the UK. There was when I checked before. I went back to check because I'm pretty certain that if I did want to do the ribbing in the turquoise, I would need more. And so Tangled Yarn was the main place that I'd seen it before, and they do stock quite a lot of Retrosari, but they no longer stock the João. So I was going to have to get it sent from Portugal, and I would rather not do that, to just get one fairly inexpensive ball of yarn shipped from overseas. So given that I've got so much of this left, and I'm probably not even going to really break into this, I'm going to use this for the cuffs on the sleeve. So I think it'll be absolutely fine, and I think actually it might give it some quite nice balance, because yeah, I think it's actually going to work quite well. This I have tried on and it fits me really nicely actually. So I'm tempted to make myself one afterwards in different yarn, obviously. It's a really nice, simple pattern. The whole point is that it's got video tutorials with it, and it's intended to be suitable for beginners. The written pattern I don't think is hugely beginner friendly. It's not bad, but it doesn't explain stuff massively. But the video tutorial I've heard is very, very good for beginners. So yeah, not far off finished with this one, and I think he's going to love it. I can't wait to gift that to him, to be fair. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is an advent project. So I have 2 advents this year, and I've been keeping up with them really well generally. So I've got the Creative Anarchy Grim Fairy Tales advent, which is what this is, in this absolutely beautiful bag from Diane of Yew Tree Yarncraft. Excuse the white on top of that. I've never tried Diane's yarn. She very much is on the list of people that I want to try next year. But this bag is incredible and was super, super good value. So I can very highly recommend going and checking out Diane's stuff. It's even lined in some really nice fabric. It's got a beautiful drawstring. It's got pockets on the inside, and it's just a really nice size bag. And also really, really, really well made. So I'll put a link down below to Diane's store. Not at all an affiliate link. I just really like her stuff and think you should check it out. Yeah, so I've got the Creative Anarchy advent, which is what's in here. And I've got the Wild Pearl Yarns advent, which is not here and I'm not going to show because I've flitted so much on projects, on ideas for that. So I started off with the Wild Pearl. In fact, will I show you what I've got? So I started off with the Wild Pearl, intending to make the Ringle cowl with it, and I was very set on that idea, and I'd been wanting to make that for ages. Is this the postie? No, thankfully. I don't think so. Yeah, I wanted to make the Ringle cowl, which is a pattern by Liz Cork, and it's like the Litmus cowl. It's a big infinity loop cowl that you knit sort of in a loop. You knit in the round, so you're knitting a big tube and then joining it together at the end. The difference between the Litmus and the Ringle cowl is the Litmus is stripes, and the Ringle cowl, the Litmus isn't a pattern by her, I should say, it's by a different designer, but everybody, I think it's a lot more well known. The Ringle cowl has stranded colour work every time you change colours, so you've got this really nice effect, and it's beautiful. However, as I was opening the Wild Pearl, I realised that there just wasn't enough contrast between some of the days for that to work. So I changed plan, and I was making these little knitted hexagons with little triangles of each colour, and I was going to join a load of them together at the end of it as a sort of a blanket. But the thing is that each of those little triangles, so each of the hexagons takes up 6 little triangles, one of each of the first, so like for example, one of each of the first 6 days of the advent calendar. And whilst it looks so cute, each of those uses up like a gram of yarn. So I was going to have enough yarn to make 20 of each. 20 of the first 6 days, 20 of the second 6 days, 20 of the third 6 days, and 20 of the fourth 6 days. 80 hexagons. And the reality was, if I'm honest with myself, I just wasn't going to ever get round to making that many. I told myself, yeah, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. I wouldn't. So yesterday I just had a rethink, and I initially had gone for crochet. I was just going to do some granny squares and join them together at the end, but I found this absolutely gorgeous pattern that I'll put up a picture on screen of, because I've completely forgotten the name, but I did buy the pattern because it had I'd seen the designer essentially on Instagram yesterday posted that here are some of my advent designs you can still get. I think it was 25 or 35% off if you use this code. And one of them, this one, let's say I've completely forgotten the name, but I can purely, clearly, crystal clear in my mind picture this shawl. That's what I'm going to make with it because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to be making that, not yet. Probably at some point I will start that. So I've got the 25th day full skein from Wild Pearl. And that's what I'm going to use as my contrast, and then my minis as the stripes. And that's what I'm going to use for that. But I'm probably going to cast that on maybe this week sometime. I'd like to. I don't want to leave it too far in advance, but also I've got plenty of other stuff to be working on. So yeah, that's my plan with that. So I'm not going to show the Wild Pearl one at the moment. Suffice it to say, without me showing it, despite the fact that I've not really settled on a project, I am loving that advent. It is so gorgeous. I'm loving both of them actually. And this is my Creative Anarchy one that's living in here. So I decided with this I was going to make the crocheted jelly roll blanket, which is a pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I said when I was talking about this in my winter knitting plans last week, the knitted jelly roll blanket has been a pattern for ages and is fairly viral actually. I've certainly heard and seen lots of different people talking about the knitted jelly roll blanket, and it just never did it for me. I don't know why, it just didn't. But the crocheted one, instantly taken with it. I knew I wanted to make one, and then decided I was going to make it work for my advent. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been loving it. So this is going to be days 1 to 7. I haven't got today's in here yet, so don't worry if you've not opened today's. But if you haven't opened up to the 7th of December, only Creative Anarchy Advent, this is the time that the warning, basically. So this is where we are at, and it's gorgeous. Oh, it looks so good on camera as well. It looks so good. So we started down here. This is day 1. I'm going to show you up close because they're gorgeous. Day 2. Oh, I'm attached. Day 2. Day 3. Day 4 and 5 and then 6, and look at 7. That is gorgeous. Today's is really lovely as well, but obviously I haven't put that in yet. And what I'm doing to maximise this is, so I think I'd said I was going to hold it single because it's a DK weight pattern and it's a fingering weight advent I'd originally said I was going to hold it single and hold a strand of some West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite lace with it. I started that, I didn't like it, so I changed tack, and I'm really glad I did because I think this looks way better. It's just so striking, isn't it? I think it's just absolutely incredible, and it's going to look fab. So I decided to hold the yarn double to make a DK weight, and then purchase some other yarn. You'll notice there's these cream blocks. Let's purchase some other yarn to basically almost stripe it with, if that makes sense, to extend it. So what I'm using is, first time trying this, and I really wanted to try it, so I'm pleased that I've had an opportunity to. I'm using the Yarn Smith's Merino DK in the shade, I think it's just the shade cream, shade 3050. This is just 100% superwash merino. 50 grams gives you 110 meters, and it's quite affordable. I feel like it's like £2 something, £3 something a bowl for 100% merino DK. It's very soft. I will be interested to see how this wears, and I would be very interested to see how it knits. So I'm planning on, having tried it, crocheting with it, and it's crocheting lovely. You can see the sort of stitch definition there. It's really nice to work with. I'm concerned because it's so soft if it's going to pill a bit. So my aim next year in 2026 is going to be to try this for knitting a garment out of, because I think it's lovely. I think it's really lovely. I met somebody at Yarndale, one of you lovely viewers, and you had a cardigan out of this, and you'd held like a tweedy yarn, I think, with it. And I thought about doing something like that if I knit with it, to hold something with it to maybe stop it pilling so much. But it's very soft, very, very much enjoying it. And what I'm doing is, what I've worked out is that one of these blocks, this is completely not a prescribed size, by the way, in the pattern. The pattern is much more random. You just use as much as you've got, and you can do it however you like. I've decided to sort of checkerboard mine, and I'm doing 28 rows per section because I liked the size of that section, and then 28 rows per section of cream, and I'm checkerboarding it, so it's alternating. And I found that 28 rows of this held double, uses up 10 grams of my 20 grams that I've got. So I'm going to have enough for 2 go-throughs basically. I'm going to do 1 full go-through of the advent, and then I'm going to start again from day 1, and I'm going to do another full go-through of the advent. I ordered 4 balls of this Yarnsmiths Merino and had no idea how much that was going to get me. So it was 4 balls, see how I get on, go from there. And really fortuitously, 1 ball of the Merino has done 6 cream strips, which means that 4 balls will get me through 1 go-through of the advent. So I'm going to need to buy another 4 balls for the next go-through. That's fine. I can buy another 4 balls once I get to that point. It's no problem at all. And I will probably order myself, like I say, a sweater's quantity to knit with at that point as well. But yeah, very fortuitously, I will be able to get through 1 full run through of this. I am loving working on this. It is so satisfying. It is so easy to just pick up and just work on. It took me a bit to work out the joining, so you can see where I'm at here. Essentially, essentially you start down here and you do your first strip, and then for every following strip on from that, you join onto this side as you work. So every row that I come back this way, I'm joining on here. And initially that took me a bit to get used to, but by the time I'd done this first bit, really, I'd got it. And now it is pretty much completely mindless, and I can just sort of work on it and work away, and it's gorgeous. And I'm loving seeing how the colours are sort of developing as it goes through. And yeah, loving how it's working out. I'm pleased with the checkerboarding as well. I wasn't going to do the checkerboarding. I was going to sort of offset it a bit. But I sought my husband's advice on that and said, which do you think would look best? And he said, oh, I like a checkerboard. You should do a checkerboard. And yeah, I'm really pleased. I think it looks really, really striking. So this, weirdly, the Ringle cowl, I was totally set on as an advent plan. I was really, really determined. I wanted to do the advent plan, the Ringle cowl as an advent plan. This one, I was umming and ahhing about, even until I started working it. And this has been the one that I am loving. I am so glad I chose. It should create a blanket it's not going to be huge. This is going to be the width plus a little bit because there's a border. That was the thing I was going to say. I think I'm going to order 5 balls of this because I'm going to do the border in cream. So I'll order a 5th ball to do the border. So it's going to be a bit wider than this, but it's going to be, long enough for a single person to use. And I'm so happy with it. It's such a lovely pattern. I can definitely see making more of these scrappier ones and things. I think it's really gorgeous. It's creating a really nice, dense, squishy fabric. So it's going to be a really nice, warm blanket, definitely. I can't get over that colour. Yesterday's colour is incredible. So yeah, this is where we're at with this advent project, and I am loving it. So I am... December's going so quickly, and I've got a lot of gift knitting to finish, and I'm trying to keep up with this advent as well, definitely. That's the reason really that I'm probably not going to start on the Wild Pearl advent one super quick, because I've got so much gift knitting to do, and this really needs to be finished soon. So I don't want to leave the Wild Pearl one too long, because I don't want to not do it. But I also don't want to overwhelm myself with trying to keep up with advents and then miss out on gift knitting and sample knitting and things like that. But I am really enjoying everything I'm working on actually at the moment. I'm putting off casting on the 2nd sock because I hate doing the cuff. But once I've got that sorted, it'll be absolutely fine. And yeah, I'm genuinely, other than say after the Oslo hat debacle, it took me a bit to get back into the not into the swing of it, but I almost trust that I could do this and it would be all right. And I'm really glad that I had this mostly done, because I've made my dad so many socks. I know he loves them. I know what fits and what works for him. So yeah, I'm hoping to be able to keep going with those, and the socks for my mother-in-law as well. But yeah, I am genuinely really enjoying what I'm working on at the moment. I just really am taken with the advent projects, and they're not the deadline projects, so so the gift knitting needs to come first. But I am very much enjoying it. The Sandro sweater as well, I was going to mention, I haven't really knit on anything on that the last couple of weeks, because what I want to do is get this finished and then move on to that as a garment that I'm working on. But that's not due until sort of mid-January, so I've got plenty of time to work on that. Mid to late January, I think. And yeah, this is going to be my main focus piece for the next sort of couple of weeks. Well, less than that, hopefully. So yeah, again, for me, quite a monogamous, it's not monogamous, but for me monogamous, couple of weeks of knitting. I'm hoping to have some more gift knits finished by the time I speak to you next time, and I'm hoping they're going to be more successful. I'm also, well, I definitely have kept progressing on this, but I'm hoping to have something on the Wild Pearl to show you as well. And yeah, I am very much enjoying gift knitting this year, except for, say, with that one exception. Let me know as always what you've been knitting on whilst you are working, whilst you're watching. Let me know what you've been working on whilst you've been watching. I always love to see, and I get a lot of inspiration from you guys. Let me know how your gift knitting is going if you're doing it, and let me know how your Advent projects are going. I think there is such a plethora of Advent projects out there that I've only just scratched the surface, and yeah, I'm really keen to see your guys' ideas and what's working for you and what isn't as well. But I am starting to lose my voice slightly actually, so I will leave you there, and thank you very much for watching, spending your time with me. Have a great afternoon, evening, weekend, whatever it is, wherever you are, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye guys.